Hello, Simon from IGN here with some brand new Saros gameplay, and I know what you're thinking. You'd love to just hear the game audio, but sadly the rules state that I will have to kind of talk over this every now and again and provide some commentary. I'll try not to do it throughout the whole video and let you hear some of it, but yeah, I'm going to need to narrate a bit. So this is a full run of the first biome of Saros called Shattered Rise, and it is going to be one where I complete the boss, so if you don't want to see that spoiled or see what a full run in this area looks like ahead of launch, maybe don't watch this whole video because you will see all of it, just giving you the heads up. So as you can see here, I've started with a pistol on this run and I'm just kind of taking out a few little enemies. This one has a red shield, which means you have to dash forward and melee that shield away before you can deal damage to this alien robot thing that kind of haunt this planet called Carcosa. Like I said, not going to talk for all of it, but the shield, the Soltari shield, is a huge part of this game. You want to engage that to soak up enemy particles, enemy, what you might want to call it, bullets, that's the word. You want to do that, and then you can fire them back at them like that using your power weapon. This would be the main path we're going here, but I think in a second I'm going to turn up, after getting this upgrade, I'm going to turn around and head to this optional area, which you'll also see me open with the melee in 3, 2, 1, there we go. You'll love to see it. And here's kind of the remnants of a camp. So Arjun Devraj, he is a member of Soltari, and they've sent like crews to this planet to mine this valuable mineral called leucernite. And basically, he is the fourth echelon, the fourth crew to go to this planet. His job is to work out what's happened to the previous crews and kind of solve the mystery of this planet. And that was a camp there where seemingly, you know, they've just disappeared. You know what? I'll go quiet for a second and you can enjoy this fight. So you can see there my adrenaline has been reset. That's what happens when you get damaged by an enemy, and your adrenaline is like almost like a power level that builds similar to how Returnal did it. So if you don't take damage and deal damage, you'll get more powerful and gain adrenaline levels, but as soon as you get hit, that resets and you become base level power again. As you can see, Saros is an absolutely stunning game. This is running 4K 60 on a base PS5 is what we were playing this on at Housemarque. So on PS5 Pro it'll look even shinier, I imagine. But yeah, it's technologically an incredibly impressive game. Just runs like a dream, looks and sounds incredible. And yeah, why don't I let you listen to that for a bit instead of me. So you can also see there when I'm reloading, there is like a Gears of War-esque active reload mechanic, which means you get to reload your gun even quicker. I love that in any game, any sort of gun game that has an active reload in, I'm a sucker for, so I'm very glad to see it in Saros. And yeah, just adds an extra wrinkle to what's already, you know, a very complicated combat dance, but yeah, when it all clicks, it just feels so good. So you can see here I've switched to the tactical rifle, which is kind of my preferred weapon for this game. Like, I like the high rate of fire, I like the range it gives you, and yeah, it just really suits my playstyle, and especially in this first area and the boss, I feel like it really suits the playstyle you'll want to bring to that fight, because, well, you'll see later on that there's a lot going on, and you kind of, a high rate of fire will serve you well. So because this is my third or fourth run through this area, I think you can see that gate's already been unlocked. I had to do that on my very first run, and it was very simple, just had to shoot one thing. But you can see that while each kind of run shapeshifts when you're on Carcosa, some bits do remain kind of similar. You'll see patterns like shapes of corridor and the way like the layout feels similar each time. And yeah, it's a good balance between fresh each time, but also familiar, so you don't seem, so you don't seem completely confused each time you go on a run. So you'll get many pickups on each run that obviously builds your power, and the more you want to explore, obviously the more powerful you get towards the end of a run and more prepared for a boss you'll be. As you'll see, there was optional areas there I could have reached if I had what looks like some sort of grapple hook, which I hadn't unlocked in Saros yet. So there's kind of, ever so slight Metroidvania elements to Saros. So you'll unlock like a grapple hook or a super jump layer, which means you can explore optional areas in some of these earlier areas of the game. And this yellow stuff I'm picking up here is Lucenite. That's what you will use to permanently upgrade your stats at the end of each run. So this is still a challenging game like Returnal was, but it is kinda in the way it lets you upgrade Arjun's character and his stats permanently at the end of each run and unlock things like, improved health capacity, shields, but also, much more impactful upgrades, which I'll tease you'll see later in the boss fight. One really big helpful tool in his arsenal. So you can see that improved rifle I picked up there has split round. So that means when I fire it now, its alternate fire means that it's going to split off in different directions and kind of home onto targets, which is very useful, again, for the boss, which you'll see coming up. Arguably makes it a lot easier than if you had any other weapon at this stage, I think. Okay, so now we kind of hit the big turning point in each biome, where you're going to summon the eclipse and, well, you'll see. So when the eclipse happens, not only does Saros get a complete visual and audio overhaul, but it basically makes all your enemies go a bit mad, and their attack patterns are mixed up. They throw out corrupted projectiles, which you can't at this stage at least. I think you can upgrade the shield so it can protect you against that ammunition, but at this point in the game, you can't. So it's only, you have to basically absorb the blue ones and dodge the yellow particles. This is my third run through the eclipse area now, so I've already gone further ahead. and unlocked the gate to the boss, so I don't need to go ahead. I could, you know, go further down the road, upgrade more, but I felt like I was powerful enough at this point to take on the boss again. So that's essentially what I did. I went straight to the boss after, you know, deciding not to take any of these corrupted pickups, which can be very useful, but they come with a downside, unlike pickups when it's not the eclipse. So you have to balance, you know, is it worth it? So for example, you might want more resilience, more shield, because you maybe don't care about losing some extra Hallucinite, which is what I did there. And here is the boss. I do skip the intro cutscene here because it's like the third time I've seen it. My first run, he absolutely battered me. I was underpowered. Second run, I got into his second phase. And then you can see on this third run, I do eventually do it, thanks to some handy, you know, extra tools. But yeah, I'm gonna, for the most part, let you just watch this boss fight. As you can see, you have to shoot the things around him, the little like nodules on the wall, in order to get to this phase where you can actually shoot him in the mouth. And you may want to do that by absorbing the blue particles like this and throwing them back at him like a big rocket launcher, and avoiding these yellow particles, which I'm doing a very mediocre job at here. But you know, then you can move on to phase 2 once you've done this, and you'll see it mixes it up slightly, makes it harder for you. And yeah, enjoy most of this boss fight. I'm going to chip in you know, a minute or two's time. Thankfully, when you press in that left bumper, you get that dash, and it's fairly generous in how often you can dash in Saros, and that will get you through any damage. So if in doubt, spam that L1 button while holding in the trigger, and you know, you'll have a decent shot. So this third phase really does kind of cage you in here. And oh no. Oh, you thought I was dead, didn't you? No, I actually unlocked a second chance revive prior to this run, which really did turn out to be, you know, the key difference between me doing this and failing this boss. And yeah, another example of how Saros is still a difficult game, but kind of being kind of loosening that challenge a little bit for the player compared to Returnal. And I think that's really a target for Housemarque this time. They're telling their most ambitious story to date, and they want more people to see the end of it, and they kind of got that feedback from Returnal that people loved it, more people wanted to love it, but kind of just found it a little too, you know, a little too much friction in the challenge. So that's all the new gameplay I've got here. What I'm about to do next here is walk into the next biome. You can see glimpses of that in my full preview, which I'll link to here. And yeah, for Saros and anything else, you know, stick with IGN. Cheers!